I've invited 6 other artists to join me in covering the different types of players during Artfight. Just to catch everyone up, Artfight is an annual art game that features 2 competing teams that attack each other with art submissions. It's happening in July, so definitely look into it now if you can. Anyway, I wanted to make this video because honestly, I kind of had a weird introduction to it. I'll tell you more about it during my part, but I thought it'd be nice to hear some more perspectives because Artfight's honestly pretty accommodating for artists of all sorts. That being said, please tell me about your experience too in the comments. I'd also love to hear if you end up relating to any of the guests here today, all of which are linked down in the description.
I've known of Artfight for a while, years and years in fact, because one of my friends was always an avid participator, but I didn't join it myself until 2024, in time for Seafoam versus Stardust. I never joined before because frankly, I didn't really know how it worked. I didn't take the time to learn how the website worked and how you actually, take attacks or defend or take your revenge. And whenever I had the time to really commit to it, July would already be over by then, and there was nothing I could do about it. But this time around in 2024, that was when it was sort of perfect for me to do because I had everything ready. I had my tablet, I had the time, and I remembered, hey, Artfight happens every July, so I took that opportunity and searched up the teams, saw what was going on the website, and got ready. I obviously had to make dedicated character sheets because I had none at all at the time that was suitable. And I decided to both make a themed OC for the team I chose, which was Seafoam, and a beach episode-esque outfit for one of my existing OCs. I also chose to include my persona, Ikazuki, in my roster as well, but I didn't make a sheet for her, or rather, I tried to, but something went wrong with the program and it completely messed it up. So I used existing drawings to put together her little character profile. After that, obviously I uploaded the images to their character profiles and then I had to fill out a little bit of information about them so that anyone who wanted to attack me knew what kind of character that they were getting into. The character reference sheets that I usually draw anyway have a bit of writing on them, but I think having the writing both on the sheet and sort of in the text helps a lot. Something I also want to talk about is making a profile on Artfight because I really enjoyed that. I really like putting down the little bits of information about me, a little bit about where I'm from, all that, and what I was okay with doing and what I wasn't. Generally though, it wasn't such a big deal for me because I was pretty much up for anything. I was very content attacking anyone and everyone that caught my eye, but obviously I had to kind of prioritize people from the opposite team just so I wanted to earn more points. In terms of the sort of style that I went for my attacks, I do think I kind of went for something more in between quickfire and sort of full illustrations. Like, I did more than just sketches, but I didn't go all the way, if you get what I mean. And this was good for me because I managed to get all around 7 attacks within the month, which was about 2 attacks every week, which isn't that bad. I think this year though, I'm going to change things up a little bit and try and go for either more really full illustrations or stick to being a little more sketchy because I feel like the in-between doesn't have the full satisfaction of a full illustration, but it also doesn't give off the same vibe as a sketch. I don't know, I'll play it by ear and see what happens. Overall, my experience as a newcomer was really positive. I was really pleased with how everything went and I was really fortunate to already have friends that were doing Artfight, so it wasn't like so lost for me. So I already had like a reference to go from on how to do Artfight. The piece that I've been doing for this also sort of reflects that because it's my Sona Ikazuki walking through sort of the doors, sort of opening the doors to something new. And obviously I have the Artfight logos on the left, and I hope this sort of conveys that I opened the door to Artfight with curiosity and came out very pleased with how everything went.
Hey there, I'm Catherine Persick. I'm a big VTuber that usually do art co-working and variety gaming over on Twitch. I started doing Artfight since 2024, and the type I was assigned to for this video is the casual, with a little bit of a last minute prep on the side. I see the casual as the one who takes it easy, who sees Artfight as mainly a fun thing to do to chill and wind down. They do some attacks here and there, but they don't prioritize getting the most points. They make attacks out of the joy of drawing them, and they do it however and whenever they want. With how I'm drawing this type specifically, I also added in a sprinkle of procrastination. They're probably the last person to get their prep done before July rolls in, and they plan their attacks as the months roll by. So basically, they're updating their bookmarks accordingly instead of having a bunch of bookmarks from the very beginning. Overall, they treat Artfight as nothing more than a fun drawing event and tend to be very stress-free about it. Personally, why I chose the casual type is actually because of how I did in the last Artfight. I see Artfight as a nice spot if I have some free time and I wanted to practice with drawing attacks to improve my skills. Even though I am a content creator, I completely disconnect Artfight from it and only strictly do it as a normal artist. I don't see a problem on other people doing it, but considering my workload at the time, I think it's better for me to see Artfight as a casual thing to prevent burnout overall. I think that's also why I don't feel pressured to make so many attacks to begin with. With the lack of external pressure, I just can do things at my own pace, which is why even with the lack of attacks I did, I'm still pretty happy about it. But definitely for this year, I'll try to make more than 5 attacks. Just don't expect more than 10. Back to the actual topic of the piece, I drew my persona with a relaxed expression, despite the amount of workload and prep they gotta do. Accompanying her is one of my OCs, Clara. She's a teddy bear turned into a human, and in this piece, she acts as basically the OC, and I decided to draw her looking irritated at my lack of responsibility on prepping for Artfight, especially with how it is the last day before July. I imagine her being like so pissed and being irritated, and she was talking like,
"Hey, get your work done! What are you doing? It's Artfight soon! Why are you not doing anything? My character sheet is not even done yet!"
And my persona would definitely say along the lines of like, "Oh, my bad, I gotta get back to work now." I tried to make this piece have a warm vibe despite the build-up pressure of prep, as you can see from the amount of paper stacking up at the foreground. Basically giving up the vibes of still taking it easy, but having a silly vibe of feeling called out, with the spotlight pointing at them and Clara being clearly mad about it. I hope this piece gives you a laugh or two. I definitely had a lot of fun working on it, and I hope I captured the essence of being a casual art fighter well. Artfight can be competitive, but at the same time, you can be very casual about it, and you shouldn't be feeling bad about it either. So I hope with this piece, you get to sit back and relax for your next Artfight. Just make sure you don't walk off within the first week of Artfight.
Hi, it's me, Lemon. I really enjoy participating in Artfight every year. When I first discovered Artfight, it was through my friend who said I should participate and it might be something I like. I found out that I had some other friends participating as well, so I decided to hop in. During my first year, my main objective was creating cute artworks for my friends and making sure to revenge whoever attacked me. However, everything changed for me in the second year. I look back at my pieces that I drew the year prior, and I was determined to do more and to do better and double the amount of points and also pieces that I tried to do the previous year. I basically wanted to test my limits and be super competitive with myself. So I spent the majority of June searching people's characters, and I tried to only find characters that were on the opposite team as I was, because the friendly fire wouldn't give me as many points. The only people that I did really attack from that were on the same team were either revenge attacks or friends. And my goal for 2024 was to do as many drawings as possible basically. I knew that I wouldn't be able to draw everyone, but I think I had like around 50 characters or so saved. I can't exactly remember since I went through and deleted them after I had drawn them, but my overall goal for 2024 was to try and get 1,000 points. I thought that would be really cool and it was a fun goal to have. But I wasn't able to do that in 2024 because I fell sick during July, and also my PC exploded on me. I was actually able to do a lot of attacks, but I wasn't even able to finish the mass attack that I was working on. I still posted it because it looked like a finished piece, but it didn't have as many characters as I wanted in it, and it left me short at only 806 points, which I say only, but it wasn't my goal. But this year, I'll do better, and I plan on collecting as many characters as possible to draw, and I really, really, really want to hit the 1,000 points this year, and if I don't, there's always next year, but dang it, 2025 is my year, and that's my spirit, and it's what drives me every year, not only doing Artfight, but just art in general. I know it's a pretty competitive mindset, but it pushes myself, and it's only within myself. I don't really expect other people to be as competitive as I am, and all in all, Artfight is just for fun.
Hey everyone, I am Stereo Bass, otherwise known as Stereo Bass or Bass. I'm your local pan-fried fish. I use they, them pronouns. Happy to be here representing the revenge artist for Artfight. First of all, I had several sketch ideas for depicting the revenge archetype. Here are my first few sketch attempts. I ultimately went with the fourth idea, which I was inspired by Light Yagami from Death Note. I wanted to portray how I track and bookmark eye-catching characters from both people I get attacked from and people I see in the Artfight Discord. I love receiving art attacks from other people, whether it is from an opposing team or from a friendly fire from my own team members. The revenge archetype to me is where I reply with an attack or friendly fire back to whoever, no matter my alliance to them. This can result in a multi-chain where we constantly reply with attacks or friendly fire depending on our allegiance. I wanted to show a sense of urgency with the bulletin board in the back and the multiple pages flying off from the desk. I absolutely can't wait for this year's Artfight, and I'm so excited to see what art comes next.
Hello, it's Charlie here, and for my part in this Artfight collab, I have taken the role of the overcommitter, which, unfortunately, I am. This piece was a little ironic, as I actually burnt out during the creation of this piece, which is also what I did after Artfight. Now, to explain the overcommitter, it's someone who, puts in so much effort to Artfight. You've got all those refs sorted. You are ready to do every single attack. In fact, maybe you do 50 attacks or so, more than one a day. Maybe they're really big attacks, mass attacks, animations, just going all abroad. And then reach the end of the month, Artfight ends, and you crash. You're just there, completely burnt out, don't draw for months after, and then you pick it up next year, and you do the exact same thing, go all out for Artfight. Hope you didn't want to do any more art pieces the rest of the year. Which is unfortunately what I did during Artfight. I drew, I think it was about 50 pieces. 20 of those were fully rigged VTubers, like an idiot. I don't know how I did it, but I did, and then it reached the end of the month, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm never drawing again. Which obviously, as you can see in front of you, I am drawing now. Just to explain the piece, you've got day one, very overconfident, cheerful, happy, ready to go into it. But day 30, day 31, you're asleep. There's no more art. Barely touched, like your hand shaking. How do I draw? I can't remember. The important thing with all of that is burnout's not fun, and take care of yourself. I'm lucky enough that I take care of my hands. I don't get any pains or things, any wrist pains. But obviously you hear of people getting carpal tunnel and things. There's not just, the mental burnout, but there's also the physical burnout. And it's about really pacing yourself. I know Artfight is exciting. Like I said, I am the type of person who overcommits. But it's about making sure that you are taking care of both your mind and your body whilst taking part in Artfight. Because it's fun. And yes, it's a bit sad that it's only once a year for a month. And then you have to wait for it for another year. I'm still waiting for it. I'm so ready for it. But you got to take care of yourself. Although I will say, seeing people overcommit is very cool because some of the mass attacks and, revenge threads that got started last year were amazing. I think like the highest rated attack, the person said they worked on for almost like 60 hours, which is impressive. I couldn't do it. But yeah, it's all about just taking care of yourself and having fun and, probably burning out by the end. Woo!
Hello everyone, my name is Noxora Nix. I am a vampire VTuber that focuses primarily on art content. And I've also been participating in Artfight for 7 years. 2025 will be my 8th year. As I was invited to work on this collaboration project, I decided that with my assigned type, the experimenter / the challenger, that I would challenge myself with this time-lapse that you probably will see on the screen. One thing that I don't do a lot is foreshortening. It's tough, so I thought I would attempt to give that a shot with my character's arm as she holds a pen in her hand. I really wanted to have the idea of multiple pages spiraling from furthest in the back to up front in the viewer's face to really emphasize just all of the different artworks I've done as I experiment during the Artfight seasons. The first 2 years, I didn't really do a bunch of experimenting as I was just enjoying the game, but it was after those 2 years that I realized Artfight is an excellent opportunity to really put your skills to the test and see what you're capable of. So I wanted to put all those pages on the speed paint and then connect them with a line from the pen to really help bring the piece together. I also chose pink colors because pink is one of my favorite colors alongside red. And on the pages that are the most visible to the viewer, what I did is I put the icons of the various teams I have been on for Artfight. And you can see there's Team Coffee, Dream, Sugar, Steampunk, Bloom, Vampire, and one other that I cannot remember. My memory's escaping me right at this second. But I had a lot of fun drawing this piece. I've done various challenges during Artfight. There was a year where I did all animations with my Live 2D program. Another year where I focused on bust ups with fully shading to see if I could solidify my style. I also did another year where I wanted to see how much art is even possible for me to put out. And so I dedicated at least 5 hours a day to Artfight, trying to see what can I do if I push myself to the limit. But I hope you enjoyed the speed paint, I hope you enjoyed the art, and I hope you're excited to see what all the other amazing artists have done for this project.
Hello! It's my turn now, and I'll be covering the designer. So, what is that? I think the designer is someone who prioritizes the aesthetics of their profile. This could also extend to character sheets too, but it's really all about making that first impression, I'd say. Designers work to capture a very specific mood when you visit their page, and you can really get an idea of what they're interested in, either as an individual or with what their characters are like. Now, I'm actually a big web design fan, and I would literally just spend some of my free time browsing the internet. And I've actually done it multiple times now with Artfight specifically. Because of the effort people put into their profiles sometimes, it really makes it feel like the characters just come to life on their own, which is an exaggeration, but I thought I'd make it a reality with this art piece here. I did promise I'd tell you a bit about my experience, and yeah, I would say it's abnormal because, well, I'm a content creator and people were able to find me like right off the bat for my first few years, and I'm like, oh my gosh, help. Ever since discovering Artfight, I just knew right off the bat that I wanted to make a cool profile. I would spend streams just perusing them and appreciating them, and yeah, the thing that stopped me is the fact that sometimes when you're an artist, you just get busy, and designing a profile can be a bit of a cherry on top since the most important thing you need to be working on is your references, so you can actually participate in Artfight and all that. But this year I have been able to get a start on it at last. I designed it months ago and I've slowly been chipping away at all of my prep. Here's what it looks like so far, and yes, I'm gonna fix it up. It's gonna be great. Anyway, if you like this kind of stuff, I would say it's definitely worth it to go support Artfight since you need the $25 tier to get access to the CSS feature, though you could still do a lot just with the regular formatting. Something I talked a bit about here. And that's everything. I hope you like this piece because I sure do, and good luck with all of your prep. As for a little Nyx update, I will be streaming again in June. A release date will be happening soon, and yeah, you'll be able to join me again for 2025 with participating in Artfight. I'll be multi-streaming to Twitch and YouTube, and yeah, I'll see y'all there.